and not feel like it's a privilege that an organisation has a DEI policy. It should just be the norm.
I completely agree. I actually had this question for Zeph, and I was going to ask him to name the #1 organisation according to ChatGPT as being an exemplar for DEI. And he named about 5 or 6 different companies, and I said, no, ChatGPT thinks your company, Microsoft, is the #1. So somebody within that organisation not recognising that their company was #1 is quite interesting. Can anyone else guess what other companies, just throw them out, that companies that ChatGPT thinks are exemplars? So we've got #1 is Microsoft, #2 Salesforce, #3 Google. Any others that you think could be in that list? Amazon, let me see. Nope. Another one? Close to Amazon, something similar. Streaming product. Netflix. Yep, Netflix. Accenture. Procter and Gamble. Johnson and Johnson.
What makes them exemplar as well?
Well, ChatGPT has offered that as well. Yeah. So I'll share these with you, with some of the content, programming. Okay. But it is difficult when you think somebody that works within that organisation doesn't recognise that organisation. So there's perhaps a difference between working there and their PR companies.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't, I won't give any names, but I remember I did some research with some colleagues about the representation of people of colour within their management area. And I remember the director saying to me, well, Sophia, there is a strong representation because you've got lots of people in the catering industry that look like you. I was just like, Jesus Christ. And that's the thing.
How did you answer it?
Well, I just said that my research is right, and you get to a certain level and you can't go up to that top of the scale.
Head of kitchen.
And it was just, so straight-faced, and that's the kind of thing. So they might feel like they're being represented, but actually climbing up the ladder is another story. And that's the bit that, and it's never nice getting the job because of the colour of your skin. I have been in that situation, and it's not a nice feeling when you realise that you are actually being a tokenistic employee, and that isn't what anyone of colour wants to do. They want to earn their way up, but they also want to be respected and they want opportunities. And I think that companies, like I said, they need to have that in their mission statement so that people come in and understand what they're about.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here for Cliff. So, let's employ some women and let's employ some brown people. But I'm a financial person, I want to make sure that my business is profitable, is employing people who don't look like me or sound like me. How is that going to affect my bottom line?
Well, interestingly enough, and I think organisations are capturing onto this now, it's been proven that the more diverse, and you might maybe know this, the more diverse your organisation is in terms of demographics, whether it's gender or racial background, the more profitable you will be. I think there was McKinsey did a study back in 2015 whereby something like 360 odd people surveyed, organisations, or it was the Fortune 500 survey. Of those organisations, 2/3 of them have a higher than average or higher than good benchmark in terms of their net profitability That's where those that employed more diverse staff compared to those that did not. And equally, those that had a higher degree of female employees in terms of the mix, up to 15% more in terms of the outreach. So ultimately, it makes sense. And I look at this when I think about what I do in the teams too. I do a lot in terms of driving success teams and point teams. One of the things are, the more diverse opinions you have, the more diverse opinions you have, the more you are likely to understand what the customer's needs are, the more likely to get better views on here's a problem here, potential problem on the horizon, here's a better idea, and the more you want to succeed to deliver a product that meets your demographics, i.e. your kinds of companies, because you actually have representation for that customer base in the room that can come up with those stores. And so those two things, problem solving and ability to represent those we serve, that improves experience. So I think we can know that companies are into that. So it's not because it's the right thing to do, they're actually starting to understand it because it's their bottom line effects. Anyway, I guess, which decision, which way, what drives them, yeah, it probably should happen. But I think that looking at it from a perspective enables them to take action. Then the question comes, okay, to where, what you said there, to where are those individuals coming from, which team are they, how far up the land are they going to be? And without having on that, I really think it starts when you get to the middle, the tricky middle, I always get it because it's really more. But I think there's a huge value in it.
Thank you. So, Sophia, sign your, so Birmingham City was also sponsored. Someone in our audience works for an organisation desperately in need of some DEI. And a number of you have been in these meetings. You looked around the table and you think we need a flavour of DEI. What would you suggest that person does to try to persuade people around that table, potentially, that diversity of thought, diversity of reality to that organisation?
Well, talk of my own experience, I was under the only partner for a round table, and I always feel that it's my place to play that, to say, actually, whether at brands or whether we're recruiting business, are we making sure that we've got a diverse mixture of business and individuals? Because also, it does bring a different ingredients to the make, it really does. And I think you have to put it out as well. So I was on board of a really wonderful company, and I remember their marketing, I looked at it and I feel that it was reflective of the audiences. They said they were trying to target, but actually marketing didn't do that. So you call it out, you just say, actually, this is what you can do, but you make sessions. You don't always believe that you can call something out and utilize it, but always have a solution. Because if you're one that's always saying, this isn't right, but you're not coming up with an answer, it doesn't help. So I think that's a way to call it out. I think you have to be honest and encourage the companies to always try on the diverse board, always try diverse stuff. I always think that's quite important.
So sometimes do you get tired of going into the same room to see the same type of people?
On occasions, depends what mood I'm in, but I always call it out. And yeah, not in, like I say, I make suggestions. I don't say, you're doing this right, I don't make recommendations. That's my style of working, but call it out. Yeah.
I read something the other day, thank you. I read something the other day. 70% of US and UK unicorns, 70% of US and UK unicorns have underdog founders which are migrants, ethnic minority, and women. 70%. So, and most of the money is not going to those types of groups. So it's trying to, we need to look at people that control the purse and run some of these businesses to try to evidence to them that by having more of a diverse workforce, by having more of a diverse team at senior level, they increase their chance of poverty. The last, I'm sad, 9 of the last 12 unicorns in the UK had either migrant or minority France, first or second generation families. 9 of the last 12. 62% of the fast growing titles had women, migrant or ethnic family. So we've just got to be bashing on the doors to try and expose. So Does anyone have a question about being shared with the one who live from the even before something? Ah.
It's a double question, so sorry. The first one is, do you find that companies often about when you call it the demonization? And if so, what advice do you give to support that to say it's diverse questions?
You have to say why. What you have to understand the audience as well, and I think again, put it out. You know, why are we doing this? Because I don't have to pay to see this in this. So understand why, what's happened to you. Because you know, hopefully, that's the ladder. You're not just someone that's there on a scale of disability. You'll think that this will add value to the company. That's why I'm employed. To a tokenistic, don't get those questions.
As well? Okay, cool. Great question. Actually, I would say, from experience, I would say, actually, it's a big deal. So many so many amazing people I can't do it without saying. And I ask them, look at the people because the management are, I think, very bad. They're not in control. The culture. Once that's set, day-to-day, the recruitment, how it was the unconscious bias in recruitment, they thought they communicated upwards, and that's everywhere, whether they want or not, I think they do. And I would say to them, look at what you want, really don't easy management. Don't train them, sit with them, just communicate with them, what's happening in their people. That's where we have a basic in terms of that. Same with that, and passive continuity, that's what's people want.
Very, very brief touch on how do you fail to be
I'll give you an example of school. People did a thing where they created their line and what happens, they're going to follow it. You said, I want you to show me a picture of a person, that person's role with that person, we played back that same person, who's that person, because they're talking about it's not very we need things where they trouble them and everything to go right? So I thought some news is actually we always think about having conversations and say, I don't understand this because I'm in culture. Tell me to teach, right? They just this one, you've got that culture, you understand it.
Yes, so I think we need more people kind of programming around that because it doesn't represent us in. I think put something in, say, on the back news, it comes out is so high. So we definitely need more working AI, so we get some representation. There is something around the skin colour that it doesn't pick up. Also, there's a lot of stuff that needs to take place. There's a lot of opportunities that we're not there yet. It's exciting, but if it goes a long way, it can be dangerous. You know, we need to stay away from it.
Thank you. I'm told to wrap up. So, thank you so much, Sophia. How would people get with you?
So I run Team House, teamhouse.org.uk, support with businesses, services and prototypes. So I'm the number room with mainstay of business card, message, coming out and speaking with you.
Cliff, how would people connect with you?
Find LinkedIn, I'm Cliff by Google LinkedIn, or I'll be hanging around here, so I'll catch you shortly.
Thank you. Well, thank everyone here. Thank you so much. Paris session after here. I invite you to say thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go to the next final session at next day. I think this is number one today. I'll introduce our working and I said on the main stage, if you're just coming and trying to salvage, when you don't do it now, one meaningful at least, or something that you know this will have my time. And as I said, let people at least, there's people going into the person competency. So yeah, as a good thing, I approach this lemonade or from the perspective, make something sure. On the stage, we now have many customer experience for SMEs and marketers. Managing customer experience in this panel, for example, we have family speakers on the Andy Safro and Tokia Weather. I'll read the intro and I'll welcome you to take the session. So, the next session, I'm going to manage customer experience SMEs and large corporates, operator Solar, who is TX strategy and change management consultant, extensive experience in creating user-centric techniques across multiple regions. Joining our Andy Safro, Microsoft's CRM dedicated fostering social justice in the tech sector while pursuing massive any touching is in to keep on the simple functional passionate about diversity in the workplace. together they would explore strategies for enhancing customer experiences across different business scales. Moving on to this at the next slide, I will do a lovely paper after that will become in this session.
Absolutely. Sure, it's been a very long day already. But during this last session, I could just offer you a very good one. Let's stay all the way to the end. So, quick introductions. My name is Amsa. Certainly fees from here. Actually, we run I have a CSS and currently work last 4 years. I have worked in different sectors of the economy. So today is what CX in this large corporate and the not so kind was really well written about those two types. So that's our introductions. Tracy?
Hi everybody, my name is Tracy. I'm not talking Tracy. I worked in the specific tech for the past 7 years. I'm a Toronto history. I've worked in different history on football, film, and in the on sales stuff. I was a background in CRM and I'm being advocate for integrating to diversity and to and thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Alpha. I'm Senior Tracy, being in the Microsoft industry since 2015. I've worked in so many roles in different things, and then I also focus on social justice, so I've done my charities or charities. I think that. So that was out for going into times when I ensure that I'm saying the customer experience. First thing that comes to mind is they know what type of and people talking about they kind of show a delivery or something is wrong with anything and restaurant. How do you understand what you're about this? Is this a big attention or making anything? Yes. It's new. Okay, new for you. It's not new for you. So you know what's here to do. Oh, that's do you want to It's okay.
It's like just like
absolutely. So thank you, of course. So ACF is not just about it is the entire experience that a customer has with the product able to qualify you. So it is that relationship you create for product concept that entire journey and the customer experience journey. You create something of awareness at the beginning, all the way to the content that's put out on different channels, social channels, all channels. It is all the way down to the website, all the way down, all the way to our interest is created, concentration, and we go down. So it is a very inclusive thing. And they will also have a relationship with the market as well as relationship with sales because all the time you say something. I need to start with you and jump straight into data. We have some things around data. A lot of those things is how do you take customer experience and increase data management? What is your touch points? How do you view data and data? So data is what is our experiences. Data you collect, data you measure, data you provide to what the entity with. So when I'm saying management, it's a manager on the team where before then, we approach to data and how to work data. But since then, I have to go my horizon as to kind of data analytics. If you don't data properly, you can never get too much out. You can't get something for that thing. So data management is very, very key to success of business. Because let's say that if I want to get an email address and tell them what from, those 3-4 points already how I use customer. So having somebody use. So if you want somebody, you want somebody in national data or things. So picking my points of data and eventually. Thank you. So pitch on expanding how people will, have to reach out to different sectors and markets. So that's all this basic to know it's business and all out of business expanding into new. So you'll be a signature, you'll be a how you have to hold that whole type of
when you touch about transportation, when you're looking to spend, you need to know what's in the outside. So what sector of community in different places, or in understanding of how this is structured, but also how you speak when how to interact with people. So it's something more proactive, not by no point and listen out. So you have to make sure you correct on both branding, also when you have the client outside, it's how you're going to interact with this on this no, that's how I read about it, about this engagement. Once you understand that's how you project, to feel value, vision, and to find it in the area. In many of those things that you mentioned is that it differs on how different people have skills level and then you have all things being operations how to presence about I think as a children let's say so let's say you is how the customer can show us how to manage this is maybe to flow with people about friend is to that's what is to be so if
So when it comes to feedback, I agree with collaborations. I also have a lot of yes. So if you're working with someone, with other groups of people, certain sectors across a lot of organizations, also make sure that it's with a lot of them across the spectrum, because that way you're able to access the general consensus. But we service and because the last thing you want is to end the project, although it's successful, you are, as I said, you are to set them up with this time. Because it's collaboration, especially want to make that relationship with the other and the always place through good kind of experience.
In listening to something you highlight, to tracks and to refer to that where you could be a flying wall in some instances where you're listening to how to travel on the control. Is that a different way of dealing with messaging? Is that different in large conference?
I think one way. So I think actually different. So let's say you go organizing to an organization where you work on and to 100,000. That itself means that I would sell the pilot, the teams, several ranks to the way, let's say, after the feedback, will differ to something that work might be the someone in eternity working with the happiness. But with that, avoid out the different ends of it. So sometimes I know the stay for the day, sometimes I only involve a smaller organization. So look at understand what then understand your client you have to so you okay, whether you well or not, feedback only to sound when you have to say
So when you introduce technology into systems, rapidly technology is a big huge massive all the time. A lot of times, so when you're operating services, technology will accelerate what you're doing. When you don't understand the process first, then technology will publish. So there can be introduced technology as well. Now, how do you determine when to introduce technology to create that right experience for customers?
I think for yourself, we understand doesn't want to change. We want both actually not only as a business but also customers. Most of the time, people tend to rush directly to let this business what's actually so I don't know about that, Apple or Microsoft, Amazon. It's all many different and much smaller. But what is actually the purpose of goals of business? What do we actually talk about? What do we actually want from the business point of view? What message we are telling we to help in the role, the vision we have, make sure we will install the content data. Now, when you learn that the analysis, then be able to draw and take on which one we go to, which one we will define as long-term use. Sometimes we won't be able to only start to the expression, but the long term we go down that direction. So first process, we do something now, we test something called market operating, and then we do down short-term or plan to be able to I see us in custom data as well. So if we can follow, when we look at each channel, see it's obviously very possible, boy, you can also reach different markets. But there is some technology that comes in each channel, looking to introduce them to different markets. So how do you look at what challenge comes managing multiple channels? And then just taking back time data and make sure that the data details that access promotions correctly, and then also join some financials like this also.
So we can then write the cost out so you say that, so especially with a lot of people who sensitive presentation, I would try to let things that but we have to take when we deal with processes. And the way that this is a lot of businesses work only now that they translate back. Why it's trying to back is that most people get on times before you start. So that process is all about something why customers want to test and get from it. Second, or want to automate to not really something like not want to put something on the phone. So after they get that it's around and so you see that with other kind of things, you think other channels use processes a lot, and in fact, a lot of things are naturally turned on. Simple process simply because it allows them to bring it to the product. So what we make is put it into a content. You get your notice and that information that say, oh, the price is a bad priority phase, and it's kind of the process that we're doing right now. And through that, then takes that information and nurture it to what we're doing. CRM is another something that's all that process has something about it's actually a lot more complex. And like I said, I'm noticing what you want is complicated to how a lot of happens in business. So when it comes to data on what you get that itself is probably not the right it's not the look about an hour. It's like sometimes an hour and it's not actually good for us, but when it comes to it's an emergency. But in the channel, someone you need a work for hours for hours. That's where if you get it wrong, you go wrong.
Is interest in the country are in representing the culture. You have to work how they interact with the customers. You can also ask the question, how do you contact them? You don't say every sense, but are they rejecting them? Are they rejecting them? And maybe it's a percentage. So depending on the feature you are, depending on the specification, you need to be responsive, at what you think is best, people and they're looking on your data, and then you write the best presentation for customers, and write the best presentation at the right time. Thank you. So last question, just to respond in 6 seconds, what's the future of this? The future of CS is CS device, so what is constantly change and evolve. AI is celebrating, it's big for every company, so people need to make sure that particularly there is no knowledge, also need to make sure that they understand what the customer wants and needs. Customer are able to access everything online or outside as well, so they need to make sure that they don't get involved. And sit down.
I think let's say we take this two things out there. What is so CS itself really make all this, especially for start. Because if I go down high street and I tell you it's not everyone does it, right? What is it different than yes? That fits into the law. So how can we that's the rules? How things run here and that's what makes it competitive. And now we look to everywhere and simple information doesn't happen. Next to a certain point where should be and it's experience.
All right. Thank you very much for attending this session. So you can catch any of us on LinkedIn and
Up next, we'll have one more. Turns out. Sure. Okay, so we're going to actually talk to stage. Thank you very much. She's up. Okay, we're going to be having a panel discussion in the section of technology sciences and in the future. It's not here. Thank you very much. I'll listen to the today. Things up and try to take over. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. It's nice to see you all here. I'm Dr. Strong. I'm in Finland. My friend here, Yelena, works with me. I'm very excited for years. I'm the vice president of engineering product at Selwyn. So I love the conversation about the university. So the company I've worked with is called by side. And 30 satellites around. And they're able to see day and night, to different weather. And what I do is use the data that collected to manage us and find natural catastrophes around. So we try to get this information to governments who are emergency disasters and also insurance companies who know, like, do they need local insurance, something like that. And then so you might have large analysis of people, different types of backgrounds, like just scientists and space scientists, whatever. But we had data set out, and we heard that in this information, saw the eyes, but then it where's the blood happening? Where are the fires? How is the fire progressing? So all these things, of course, are climate change, increasing these hazards. So I saw wonderful. I'll just go ahead and wonderful. And so this is what means, and afterwards I want to head into my stage for next up. So we can start questions. Okay, well, thank you for the introduction. So, my question is pretty much few topics. So, in energy terms, you mentioned the great things you do in the work. There's always go on and complexes. How do you go with that for of things without the reality? Not easy, I wonder, but easy. Go ahead. Okay, excellent. So that's a really good exercise. But yes, I think when it's about technology that I use, right? Like I work for a company that's growing, and we want to make this global product to be able to respond to these catastrophes everywhere. But we have to sell the product right now. So it tends to be companies from first world, so US, Australia, Japan. They have high economic impact. They have a lot of insured properties. They're good paying. The problem is we're building a detection for flood or fire. We're building AI models that are just learning about these countries. They're not learning about how to abstract this information globally and to create more of a globally responsive product. So on the advanced technology side, using this industry, even though it doesn't seem like there would be an ethical concern or a socioeconomic concern, we are training these models, these AI models. We know things about certain types of houses, certain types of neighbors, and viewers, sure.
Amazing. Yeah, it is. So, what are some considerations that you think about the answer to think about when it comes to biotechnology?
And there's so many ethical barriers. And it's so easy when, when you're a young company, a startup, which is how do we use AI or build a great product, you don't think about ethical impact. And so one of the previous speakers was talking about some of the challenges with including diverse types of individuals, so gender, race, in some of those models. The models like AI, for instance, maybe that's where I'll see that's more comfortable there. But they're only as good as the information given. So even things like ChatGPT only knows what it's right for him. And if one information is predominantly focused on white European men, for instance, then that's the kind of answer or outcome you'll find. So I think as you're a tech company building capability, building product, you need to consider how I expose my models to the right information, to give it a diverse perspective, where we can get a robust answer, and not just an answer here to a very specific segment of the population.
Amazing. Thank you so much. That would be really
because there are a lot of management model processes that are always below our organizations. Yes, we are not talking about how responsible are. And you mentioned to ChatGPT is what you really want to start. So let me ask, how can organizations ensure that they are trying to feed the demand with the right information? Any policies I think should be in place for them to, because, for example, when you combine as well, with the evolving this technology, which also into at the time. So I don't want to say products, but I can only see what products. So what think organizations to do to take it by at this stage of the demand models?
Yeah, that's a question. I think a lot of it was actually, but earlier we had two panels ago. Speakers were talking about DEI. And the reason the models that we today are getting the information focused on white Europeans is because those are the people who are building those companies. So if you have companies that are bringing in more diverse perspectives, then the likelihood of somebody identifying this as risk is zero. And so always like the more diverse workforce we have, the better chance will be for technology that's more so it's easy to get everything. It's still very hard to get people to speak that way, but it doesn't help. So I think that's probably to improve the technology is the diverse workforce.
I see. That was that's a big one. Well, we're getting that big, but can I also ask you, when it comes to artificial intelligence, GenAI, ChatGPT, what perspective has to do with this kind of mental intelligence? When I was growing up, there's a set of people that all gifted children. They are highly intelligent. I mean, they may be younger age, but the kind of their reasonings are usually very high. How high intelligent quotient that people with gifted children. Now, in order to support this technologies, what do you think? Do you think should be also considerations? Do you think there should be how can support about social as native voices?
I love this question because I was having dinner with my son the other night and he mentioned like this kind of young generation. I have two younger daughters. They want to be like quite weak. In a way, like that's not horrible, but they can have all this amazing technology at fingertips, and they can ask ChatGPT to write up paperwork to figure out the problem. But we have to, how we maintain that like ability to critically think, maintain that smartness, those gifts that we talk about. Like that's a huge ethical concern. I think maybe some schools in certain countries are trying to get around it, trying to restrict. I know like in universities, there's all these rules now to check to see if the work has been written by ChatGPT. But if you think about the 6-year-olds and the 7-year-olds that are just kind of entering school and they're seeing and exposed to all technology, it is quite a risk. I'm not sure that there's an easy answer. What I try to teach my girls is that like it's a tool. It's a really helpful tool, but it's also kind of dumb. So the best way to use it is to think about what do you want to say, and whatever your ideas first, and then have the tool maybe go back and forth like a brainstorming session. But again, I don't know. It's hard.
Humans also brainstorm ChatGPT. So like when ChatGPT won't be, I asked it, focus for it, send it. I said it send it. I said, when I say focus for it, when I say, oh, I'm sorry, maybe I don't have information, something like that. I said it's way. So also in the sense that when it comes to accuracy, something like that. But why is it when said we also feed them with thoughts? I'm telling you that don't ChatGPT now, it's answer them. But that was when it comes to the school class, when it's school study from the school level,